Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be drawing Ariana Grande today, so let me walk you through my process. Sorry, I'm wearing a retainer right now and I sound like a fucking fool, so let's get right into it. As I do with every work of art, I started off by lighting some candles for some ambiance. What am I doing? As you can see, I quickly realized that I didn't know where I should put these lit candles, so I decided to just move them in and out of frame a bunch of times. I eventually just blew them both. Oh my god. I eventually just blew them both out and put them on the table behind me because they were so distracting. As you can see here, I am sketching the portrait, and I'm doing it freehand. A lot of the times I like to do it with graphing paper. Not graphing paper, what am I talking about? This is watercolor paper, specific for watercolor. I like to use a graphing technique whenever I'm doing portraits because I like them to be like as accurate as possible. Because people always are able to tell when like the smallest thing is off. And it's actually really annoying, but like I get it because I do the same thing. But it's also just like, you know, like calm down, you know? Like I'm not a machine, I'm not a computer. I keep screwing up on the eye on the left side of her face. I kept drawing it too high up, but it's actually like further down because the right side of her face is technically further away, so like it goes down in the horizon. I don't know, I'm just trying to figure it out right now, but that's something that happened to me during this process. Alright, so there is the finished sketch. After I have it finished, you can tell that I kind of shaded a little bit in the eyes, but like didn't do too much because the next step is I kind of dampen the paper with just plain water and a bigger brush, and that just kind of primes it to get it ready for the watercolor pigments that I'm gonna put on. So I usually just use primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, and I do all my I get all my colors through that. So here I've mixed literally all three of those colors together to get her skin tone. She's kind of like me, she has like an olivey kind of skin tone, but her makeup kind of was like a pinkish orangish, so I stuck further to like the reds and the yellows on her skin tone. So I'm just kind of laying down a base of where my darkest are probably going to be, because with watercolor you layer up your colors. So here's where my shadows are. You can see I went under the nose, under the eyebrows. That's where you're going to be darkest. A lot of the times in this video you're going to see, I tried to edit a lot of them out, but you're going to see moments in time where there's nothing going on. Like there's no paintbrushes, there's nothing. And that's because I like to let it sit and dry. Because like I said, it's a lot of layers. And if you add wet to wet, then the colors actually mix together, and a lot of the times you'll get like a grayish. Alright, so I just did her lips. I'm using the color Posy K by Kylie Jenner. It's a Kylie lip kit. And then I'm going in with some gray for her hair. And this is where I'm going to take a little break, put my retainer back in.
So I'm looking for this fucking building downtown. It takes me forever. I have to circle the building 90,000 times to find this parking garage. I almost merged back onto the highway at one point. I almost caused an accident because I have to not merge onto the highway. My GPS is taking me everywhere. It's a nightmare. I descend down that fucking vortex of doom into the parking lot finally. I cannot find a parking space because it's all VIP shit. So I'm like, is my car gonna get towed? Who knows? So I go into the building. I fucking finally find the bank. I go up to the lady and I'm like, hi, I have this car, I'm dropping it off, for this person, and all she fucking says to me is, I'm like, whatever, like, let me just get this out here. It didn't take me that long, and, like, now Maurice potentially has their car back. So I go to the parking garage again, and I'm like, I have to pay before I can leave. And I fucking pull my ticket in, and it says it's $13. $13 for me to have done that. And I was like, I am never leaving my house ever again. Maurice, you can suck it.
Alright, so during that Megan interlude, I went in with my like browns, which I made with mixing primarily blue and red. Here I'm going in harder with some shadows because I laid down a base of skin and then I can start layering up more. So like I said, her skin tone is kind of olivey, so I noticed that I was getting kind of a little bit too pink, so I went back in with yellow, and that kind of gave me my pigment that I was looking for. Alright, and then I'm going in with the blue and red mixture for the shadows on the eyebrows and the eyes and on the inside of the mouth. It's all the same color, and so it really brings everything together as one solid piece. Darkening up the eyes. The eyes are obviously an important part of any portrait because that's what all humans really relate to, is the eyes. So if you've kind of screwed up the eyes, then like you've got to like restart. As you can see, I made the eyes like super dark. That's because I will go back in with a white acrylic and I'll make those highlights. And here I'm using a really small brush to make those eyelashes. For this I kind of chose to just I filled in areas where the lashes were I guess dense, instead of doing lash by lash, which I like how it turned out actually. And here I'm just kind of going in with some finishing touches, bringing out some areas. I like to stand up and stand back from the painting to see if there's anything that might have looked good up close, but maybe not so much once you get far away. And then I just kind of went through and made a lot of the things that you want to stick out a little bit more bright. So I went in and I made the lips a little bit more red, a little bit more corally colored. Then I went in and made the eyes a little darker. And here I'm just kind of really quickly going about everything else around the face because that information is less important. Alright, so here is our final product again. Like I said, I only used 3 colors, a phthalo blue, lemon yellow, and crimson. And then I used 3 brushes, the big fat one, really little one, and one that's like kind of smallish and square shaped. I used an HB pencil and a titanium white acrylic paint for my highlights on my eyes and on the nose and teeth. Subscribe for more, art content, and leave me some comments and a couple likes, and send this to anyone who's artsy or who likes Ariana Grande, or if you know Ariana Grande personally, tell her that I love her and that I would do anything to just, simply talk to her on the phone. So, thanks again. Later.